Good afternoon, traders. Today I'm going to be making a quick video on primary look at price action that I deploy whenever I'm looking at charts. Let's get to it. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is start off with a naked chart. Nothing but price action on it, as you can see right here. So the first thing I look for as a trend trader, does it have a trend? Yes, this has a trend. We are in a trend, uptrend. That means that the slope here is positive. Okay, so that is an uptrend. That's what I'm looking at for the first to start with. And then, of course, I want to know where can I start to look at buying on these pullbacks. Okay, so these are all pullbacks. So if you haven't noticed, there is a salient feature that is present in all of those pullbacks, and let's look at them really quickly. This may help you decipher your entry a little better. So let's look at that. Look at this and look at all of these. And plus, we're going to look at this one too, because this was the failed one. All right, so you can probably make out, if you haven't yet, that all of these have this feature where it goes up, down, finds a secondary support, and then moves up. Okay, same thing here. After a huge pullback, this is a nasty bar. Okay, goes down, comes back up, comes back down. This pullback, the secondary pullback, this is where your entry, or at least my entry, is usually. This is what I look for. This is primary thing that I look for. Again, a huge bar, goes down, comes back up. Here's your secondary pullback, holds, goes back up. Here is actually a failed one. Goes up, but then never comes really back down. Goes up, never comes back down. This is your bearish structure. Of course, then it finally does what we want to see. Goes up, comes down, holds some sort of support, and goes back up. Okay, so how can you decipher something that is already that you think will have a good solid entry with the low risk, versus something that is like this, where you're just entering on the secondary thing and not, like, for example, you could have entered here, you think that is holding, but it's not, and you would have been stopped out if you had kept with your trading plan of some sort. Okay, so this was one of the questions that I asked myself a lot when I was a young trader, and I just couldn't get the timing right for the longest time. I couldn't do it, and I would buy a hair, and then get stopped out immediately, like around here, something, just where my entry is, would buy this, and would be stopped out on this way. It kind of reminded me of one thing that the things that you remember when you were younger. So back when I was in college, I studied part-time philosophy, and the one thing that really stuck to me was the study of epistemology, which is pretty much a study of how we know what we know. What's the justification of your knowledge? What drives you to say this is the truth and that's just an opinion? So few things that kind of struck to me. So I would sit there and look at the price action and be like, well, what am I doing wrong? Obviously, I'm getting in too early. Okay, I am getting in too early on these. Okay, that was my first thing. And then the second thought was, well, it never came back down. If I'm getting up here, I would get stopped out. But then there's this little area, this little area, this little area, this little area, which is, holy cow, like 3 days later, guess what it did? It went up. Okay, so a lot of times I hear from traders, you can't always time things right, but what you can do is create a justification to what is the truth versus just an opinion. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're going to talk about. So I look for these patterns all over the place. This is your stereotypical pattern in an uptrend. You will see it over and over and over again. There are a few ways that you can go about trading it, and this is what helped me. The highest probability trade that you will see is when it crosses the primary peak. Okay, this is your primary peak of an resuming an uptrend. Okay, it's the same thing over here. This is your primary peak right here. Look at all of this price action came in right after it passed that. Again, this is your primary peak. This is after you have a small downtrend. This is your primary first up move. I tend to not buy these anymore. When I was a younger trader, I used to buy these. I'll be all over them. But now I look for these areas where I know that I have a low risk entry and I'm gonna get in. So there is no right or wrong way to trade it. An uptrend, there are many ways. People just get in, get out, don't even care. But as a swing trader, a short-term trader, this matters because you're not there to just be part of the market uptrend and what the market makes. Your job as a swing trader is to compound what you make and make it grow in a higher percentage than what the market is doing. So that is what you would want to do. You do not want to sit through these. At least I don't want to sit through these. But this is where I'm preparing for my next trade. Okay, so there's few ways that you can trade this. Obviously, you can get in. If you do get in, just make sure your stop is below the last low. But if you're a patient trader, this is your entry right here. This is the high probability entry. Your stop again is that of low, but you can also make a stop that, okay, if it goes below this point, again, if it goes below this area, this point right here, you can get out. You can say, okay, that was a failed breakout. Okay, but look at this. That is a big move. Okay, a lot of people miss out on those because they were so focused on this zone and getting stopped out that they totally miss all of this. Okay, they miss all of that. They miss all of this. They miss all of this. And then they're sitting there scratching their head going, what the hell did I do? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I get in? And to be honest with you all, I did that all the time. I was one of those traders. But looking at it, over the years and developing and actually paying attention to what was going on, you're able to kind of come up with a concrete justification for an entry and, hopefully have a positive result. So now we're back into, again, we're same scenario here. We've had this nice drop. It found some sort of support. Okay, it did. We're making the primary move. Now be patient for it to make this secondary pullback. Okay, and look for it. Look for it to find support. Look for it to find support here. You know that if it finds support and starts moving up, it's doing the same thing that it did here. This is what you want to look for. This is what we call the money wave. The money wave. Okay, same thing. Money wave. we're seeing the same thing here. Okay, money wave. All right, and obviously you can see that where it did fail, never got over the top, failed. Never got over this top, failed. Okay, and then it found, went like that. Oh, okay, so there's something right there. Hey, let's start watching. Let's see what happens. This is where I'm looking. This is where I'm starting to get interested again. And now I know what's going to happen. What I want to see, what I want to look for. Boom, boom, and I'm in around here looking to go. I hope this helps. Again, we are in the same setup as you can see developing right now. The chart is of Etsy. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's watch it. Let's see how it develops, and then go from there. The big, of course, thing is the earnings that are coming up. We just have to be aware of it. That's the black swan. Anything could happen. This could happen. This could happen. It could just gap right up over it. I hope this helps. If you like it, hit the like button, hit subscribe, blah blah blah, all the jazz. Support the channel, and I hope you all have a good day.